Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Mr. Hydra, and this is Rust Console Edition. I'm going live here one more time. Um, this is my first time I'm doing any live streams and any tutorial videos, and I just want to make sure that I get everything right, especially when building something so big. Here we go. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be building, it's called the Dragon's Den. It's a minimum of 75 rockets in order to raid. If you, for like the smaller groups, that's basically how strong you're going to be able to get it. But if you're a medium-sized group or a little bit bigger, you can get over 100 rockets. And heck, even if you are a smaller group and you guys are heavy farmers, then you guys can totally keep up with the upkeep. I'm going to do my best to explain this as best as I can. Again, this is live. I don't have a chance to re-record or edit, so I'm going to do the best that I can. Yeah, and I think I've got it down now. So here we go. So, oh, by the way, at the end of this, I am going to do a full base walkthrough. So if you guys are interested, I'm going to make a smaller video on that, on just the base, and then you guys can join me for that. And then come back here to this video if you guys want the full build on your base. So what we're going to do is we're going to start here with this one square, and we're going to face in the southern direction. And the reason we do this is because most of our solar panels and our energy usage requires south-facing panels, so we want to give the most amount of coverage to those south-facing panels. So we're going to orientate our base to the south. And this is also going to help me so I can give you guys cardinal directions when I'm doing doing the base. So the basic footprint here is we're going to go north-south is going to get one triangle. East and west is going to get 3 triangles. We're then going to add squares into these slots right here. We're going to add 2 more squares onto each one of these triangles. And then we're going to fill the rest of it in with triangles. So this should be the basic footprint that you're looking at right here. So that's approximately half. That's the basic footprint that you're looking at. So build everything, make sure that the base fits before you start, because it's going to be a pain in the butt to change things later on if you don't. So make sure everything fits and you're good to go. So from there, you're going to want to, we're going to upgrade a few of these pieces to stone, and this is going to be our starter base. So we're going to go from, we're going to be going from the east side here. We're going to count out 1 triangle, 2 triangles, and we're going to upgrade this one to stone. We're going to upgrade this one to stone, this one, and this one. So this is going to be the starter footprint for your starter. We're going to then throw in a wall, a wall, a wall, a wall, a wall, a wall, and then filling in the rest with door frames, except for this one back here at the end. We're going to get rid of that. So what we're actually going to place here is going to be a half wall. We're going to do a triangle frame, and then this is where we're going to place our TC, right here in this corner. And we're going to pull it up so it fits, and lock it. Once that's down, you're going to get rid of this little medium wall here, and we're going to upgrade everything to stone. Throwing on our roof. And then we're going to put in a window frame. So this is what's called an unlootable Tc. And it's as strong as a wall. So no matter what, it can destroy the Tc, but we're going to have outer TCs, so we don't care about that on this base. But they can destroy the Tc, but they can't loot it, because they have to either destroy that wall, the roof, this wall, or this thing. So it's basically as strong as anything that you make it. So we're going to put our TC in there, and then we're going to upgrade the rest of these walls here to stone, including our door frames. And we're going to throw on our roof. And this is our starter base, so you can throw in a couple of doors. Let's do 1, 2, 3 for now. I like to have my doors swing into the squares, so they're not taking up any extra space in the base. There you go. So now you have a main loot room, you have, and then you have your doorways to get through here. If you want, at the very beginning too, before you place this door frame, you can make this into a loot room. And then put in your door frame. And then put in your door. So now you have a loot room, you have a place that you can put your workbench, you can put a bunch of furnaces, and then you can put a bunch of other large boxes and sleeping bags here on the floor. So this is your starter. So now that we're done our starter, we want to upgrade it a little bit. We've already farmed, half a box or a box of stone, and we're ready to upgrade. Again, we're a small group. It shouldn't take us too long, so we're not going to be in this stage for too long. So we're going to come out here, and we're going to completely wall off everything. Now, a tip for when you're doing your upgrading is because your upgrade to the stone is to the right, you want to upgrade to the right so you don't have to take your thumb off the joystick when you go to do your upgrading. You can just walk around and it'll automatically do the upgrading for you, or already be in the position for you. And then we're going to upgrade these as well. Now from here, we're going to throw on our roofs. There's no point in having walls if we're going to have open roofs. The only one we're not going to do, though, is going to be this square right here. We're just not going to do this square right here. Everything else is going to be fair game. We're going to go around, and we're going to move to the right, and we're going to upgrade all of the stone roofs. So already we're a little bit more secure. And we're good to go. Now the reason why I do it this way and I build my outside layer first is because it's much safer, obviously, to work on the inside of your base than it is to work on the outside of your base. So in a live server situation, you're less likely to be killed while you're doing all of your upgrading and stuff. But however, this is no good. We don't want to leave this open. So what we're going to do is on the sides with 3 triangles, so on the west and the east, we're going to put door frames, and then we're going to put a wall. Now these 2 walls right here should be facing out already because of when you started, but this is our center core, and all of our doors paths run off of this center core. So if somebody comes through the center core, we want to make sure that these walls right here are hard side in. We're going to upgrade these to stone, and then at this point you would throw in your doors. And this is basically where you want to leave it. You can make it, you can start doing your walls on the inside if you wanted to. So we're going to leave this one square right here. So the right side of our three triangles on both sides, this one's already blocked, but the right side on this triangle we're going to leave open, and we're not going to do anything with. I'm going to throw in our walls. Again, this side we're going to leave open. We're going to come in here and we're going to do our walls. Now, this wall you do have to upgrade before you do anything. So these three walls. So anytime you run into a situation where you have those two triangles, you are going to, off these two squares, you are going to have to upgrade them. And we're going to have to do the same. We're going to have to go outside and upgrade those two triangles here in a minute and put walls. But for now, we're going to go in here and we're going to upgrade all of these walls just like this. And then we're going to place our doors for our door paths. So from, and this works on both sides, so from the center triangle, we're going to be working our way around in the left, placing our doors, just like that. And these are our door paths. These are going to be our loot rooms. Again, if you want this to be a loot room before you put this door frame in here, half wall, and then your door frame. Just like that. So now, if anybody was to break into your base, right, especially when we finish doing our honeycomb here, but if anybody is to break into your base, they have to go through 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 garage doors. And then same with on this side, they have to go through 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 garage doors. 5 garage doors is 15 rockets. So it's each path here is 15 rockets. So that becomes a 30 rocket door raid already. This is 30 rockets. But the problem is it's not 30 rockets because of all of the walls. So this is why this is just the starter version. This is what you want to get to. You can put all your extra bags, whatever you want in this honeycomb, but this isn't very strong. So you're going to leave it at the starter base position until you can upgrade everything to metal. And believe me, on this base, it doesn't really matter if you look rich, because it's going to take them so many rockets to get through this thing that by the time they do get to most of your loot rooms, it probably won't be worth it for them anyway. It's going to cost you maybe a box and a half, maybe 2 boxes of metal frags to do this whole base, but it's going to cost them over an entire box, sometimes a box and a half, maybe even 2 boxes of rockets to get in here, depending on how they want to get in here. And I'm going to explain a little bit more how in just a second, beyond just these door paths. But the door paths do help. Okay, so from here, we've already got a whole bunch of metal. We're ready to go. We're looking to upgrade it to its final form. So we're going to go around and we're going to do that now. We're going to upgrade everything here to metal. And I mean everything, including these door frames, because it's going to remove the ability to pick them away with pickaxes. And honestly, these door frames, they really should be stronger than the door. So always, in my opinion, if you have the ability to make your door frames metal, and then not only that, but your upkeep cost is determined on the cost of how much things are cost to build, and it's based off percentage-wise. So you can see that it costs way less for me. It only costs me 100 metal in order to upgrade this frame, but when it's stone, it's 200. So I'm having to use a lot more. It's a much higher percentage later on. So it's always cheaper to build all of your bases out of metal, and it's just stronger anyway. So if you can, build your bases out of metal. If you want to look poor, then you're going to always add an extra layer of stone on the outside of your base, and it's just going to help you attract less people. Now, these two walls right here, again, until you've kind of finished this thing, these things can they can stay metal, but at the very end, you're going to want to have this armored, and this armored, because we have our 16 rockets in order to get all the way through here. Um, so we're going to want to make sure that this wall is equal to that, so they don't just bust through the wall and avoid a bunch of these doors. So by having 15 and this wall, they become basically the same amount of rockets. And then once you wall off this section, just like we're going to do on the other side, then this also becomes 16 rockets, even though it's just sheet metal in order to get through. So again, we've created a. So again, it's even on the way through. So it's 16 rockets, no matter which way you try and build into that. So again, we're going to go through and we're going to upgrade everything. And also, don't forget about the two pieces that we have outside over there. You can see them right here. I can't access them right now, but don't forget about those. Those are important. Okay. So now that we have everything here into metal, we're going to want to finish our honeycombing. And again, I like to do all of my honeycombing on the inside because it's much safer. And if you have a friend that can do this with you, then it's going to help you out a lot. Save you some time anyway. Boom. So that's the first side. That's all honeycombed in now. So now we're going to go over here to the other side. We're going to do the same thing. Again, making sure that all of the walls are facing out from whatever room you're standing in. There you go. Now this whole thing is fully secure. And it's going to take 16 rockets to get into there, or any part of this base. It's going to take 16 rockets to get into, including these loot rooms. So if you have this set up as a loot room and or a bedroom, then you can have 4 loot rooms just here on the bottom floor. So here, I'll actually show you a quick example of that. So we'll put in our half wall, put in this, demolish this. Oh, that's not what you're supposed to be. Oh, the floor. So now you can have a box there, a box there. You can have a box there, a box there, and just give yourself a little path through. You can also, if you wanted, have like so you can have 2 large boxes up on the top and your medium box, how you would like a standard loot room, and then you just have to L-shape your boxes here, and you can have a huge full loot room. So it takes 16 rockets in order to get through any wall, and then it also takes 16 rockets to get through any door path. So 16 rockets to get into the loot room times 4 different loot rooms. If you want to go through the outside alone, so 16 and 16, that's 32, that's 64 rockets. However, most people would come into, say, this room, which is 16 rockets, and then they have to go through 2 other doors, so 16, 19, 22. So that's still 22 rockets in order to get into that. So this whole thing becomes 44 rockets. If they go through a loot room and then all of the doors. So it's really good. But then you want to make things a little bit more, you want to get a little bit more serious here. because the top isn't 16 rockets, right? And that's the thing. Um, because the top isn't 16 rockets, we need to add another floor. So at this point, again, this is the same basic footprint you should have. I forgot 2 triangles over here. This wall doesn't really matter when you're doing your triangles. So if you want to do your honeycombing outside here, this wall doesn't really matter which way it faces. It's just preventing splash damage, basically. So that's your first floor done. You should have 2 squares, 2 triangles, 2 triangles, 2 triangles, 2 squares, 2 triangles, and then this is the back side of that TC room, and this is the one I was telling you guys that to try not to forget. Again, it doesn't really matter which way these ones face, but because the TC is behind that one, we're going to make it so this one's out. And we're going to get these in. So if this is your loot room right here, it's going to be 8 rockets for this wall, 8 rockets for this wall, so it's 16 rockets. 8 for this wall, 8 for this wall, 16 rockets. Same with this loot room, 8, 8, 16, 8, 8, 16, and that's going to continue all the way around for every one of these loot rooms in the center. And then it's also going to be the same things for this, 8, 8, and then these are your door paths and stuff like that. If you want to upgrade your one main loot room or the room that you have your TC into armored, then it becomes 24 rockets to get into the one. And then if they go through all the door paths, again, each door path is 16 rockets, so it becomes very expensive. Now what we're going to do is, for this floor, is we're going to do the exact same thing, only we're going to add door frames onto the sides with these 2 triangles on the outside rather than walls, and I'm going to show you why here in just a minute. So we're going to need, if you're going to start here, this base is 3 stories tall for the inner core, so you're going to want to set that up. And you want to set up the door frames to be going, again, to match the 3 triangles downstairs. And we're going to throw in our walls. And we're going to upgrade all of these to sheet metal as well. And then throw in our roof. And we're going to come down here, we're going to build the second floor. So starting again with our door frames, we're going to do 1, 2, 3, 4. And we're going to do 1, 2, 3, 4. And then the rest are going to be walls. And we're going to upgrade all of those to sheet metal, kind of working again to our right, because again sheet metal is down and to the right. Just like that. And then for these, what we're actually going to do is we're going to throw in some metal shot fronts. Metal shot fronts, and we're going to do the same thing for this side. Just like that. So, because these are going to be little decks. So, I built this base off of my hotel design, but it also really works for you guys for these larger and medium group guys. This is going to help you out. So, we're going to start doing our walls here. We're going to start building our second floor. Actually, let's do the roof here first. We should probably get the roof on, right? Probably a good idea. Just like that. Throw in our squares. And then our triangles. Just like that. And get them all down to sheet metal. So again, if you're a solo or a duo or a trio, um, then you can basically stop here if you wanted to, and you can set this floor up however you want it, and then you have this third floor as your entrance and exit into your base. And as you can see, already, it's only 4,000 metal frags in order to cover this entire base. That's it, 4,000 metal frags. Um, and you can't really, for the price of protection, because you've also got 16 rockets now because you have your metal walls. So the price of protection all the way through is already going to be higher than most of the bases that you're living in, and the cost is already going to be drastically cheaper. However, we want this base, like I said, we want this base to be at least 75 rockets. So we're going to build out the second floor now as if we're still in a large group. Only this time we're going to be able to add in um, a nice little deck, and we can use these decks because they have windows. I'm trying to future-proof this, but because we have the windows set up here, you'll be able to grow things in here, like your hemp or your berries and stuff when it comes time. But what we're going to do is we're going to section this off, just like this, and we're going to upgrade these to sheet metal. And we're going to block this off. So from our center, from our triangles on the right hand side, we're going to leave this one open for a little room right here. And then through here, we're going to come in and we're going to fill in all of our honeycomb. And again, you want these facing out. And then we're going to do the same thing over here for this room. So we're going to do that, sheet metal, and then because we're on our triangle here, so our triangle to the right, we're going to do a wall, sheet metal that, and then for our left, we're going to wall, sheet metal, sheet metal, sheet metal. And then we're going to do our inner core here. Now, one of the things you can do is you can put lockers and stuff in here. But with the size of this space now, you don't really need to. You can put lockers on the walls. Because the second floor, this honeycombing matters not so much, but I mean, it does. So sheet metal. And then we're going to add in our door frames. Door frames. Okay. Combine. We're going to do the other side. I hate upgrading door frames. And we'll do the same on this side for our loot room here. There we go. So now, again, we have the same 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 door path through, and we have the same 16 rockets in order to get into this loot room. So at best, at this point, again, we have to put on one more floor because we're not done with the top floor yet, because people can still come through the top. But at best, somebody's going to spend 16 rockets to get into this loot room. Then they're going to spend another 8 rockets to get through this floor, and then another 3 rockets in order to get through another 3 rockets in order to get through that door down there, right? So we're looking at, 8, 16, 24, and then 3, 6, 18, 24, so 24, 27, and then to get into this one, it's 30, 33. So we're looking at 66 rockets per side. If they go through the most efficient route possible, going through all of it. Actually, it's less than that because it's going to be 30? Yeah, about 66. Yeah, to get through all of that. So because everything is all spread out. The reason why this is here is because they can go through this and then the door, and it basically counts as the wall. And then they still have the door path to get through. So this doesn't really change anything. Each one of these is still 16 rockets to go through plus. So unless they know exactly how to raid through this base and they're going through all of the floors properly and everything else like that, we're looking at over 60 plus rockets. Now, in order to get it even more, we're going to... So this is the best that you can make it, probably for a solo, duo, trio, whatever. Is going to be this 64 whatever rockets I just said. That's probably the best that you're going to do, and that's probably the biggest you're going to want to make it, because again, I probably left something in their stone. I left one piece in their stone, but it's only 5,000 metal frags in order to upgrade, keep this every day. It's going to be a little bit more, so we'll say 6. That means you can fit 4 days of upkeep in your base, to have a 65 rocket raid base. Now, if you wanted to double that and make it like a 125 rocket raid, then all you do is copy the exact same 2 floor plans underneath here, but you do it above me. Right, so you put in one more layer, because this is your entrance layer, should be the 3rd layer, and then you can have your workbenches on these sides. Again, you can have your window frames here, You can sort of set this up like little loot rooms if you wanted to, but you can set up extra door paths that come out of here. So in order to, so let's just say we wanted to only have one entrance, or no, let's just say we have the two entrances. We want to get through both sides here up on the top, right? We can add door frame, door frame, door frame, door frame, wall, wall, right? And then now we've just added 3, 6. So we just added 6 more rockets into our little line here, and then 8 through the wall. So you can get quite creative with this. I like to have my entrances be on these squares. I have my gatehouses built up to a 3rd floor, and then it kind of lines up with this. So I come in here, and then I have to go through all of these in order to get in. Actually, you know what? Let's build it. Fuck it. So we're gonna go door frame, door frame, door frame, door frame, wall, 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 door frame, door frame, wall. Upgrade this all to sheet metal. That was a wall. Sorry, I'm getting lost in thought here. Exit there, exit there. Exit there, exit there, exit there. Yeah, exit there. That is the wrong wall. Alright, and then we're going to throw in our, again, we're going to throw in our shop fronts. The only floor we're not doing this on is the 1st floor, because we don't want people coming, really don't want people coming into our 1st floor. By the way, these shop fronts don't have a soft side. It doesn't matter which way they face. But for aesthetics on the outside, I like to have these little stands here on the left-hand side, just for aesthetics. And aesthetics matter in your bases. I mean, not always, but it should. And we're going to throw a roof in on this. And then throw in our squares. and then there you go. So now you can have your private balconies, and then you have another 5 door paths, or actually, yeah. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 into this side, or it's another 5 on the other side. It doesn't matter which side you go in. It's also another 8 to 16 rockets, depending on how you want to come into this thing. Sorry, I know I'm building this kind of fast, but I don't want it to take forever. Now you can just add a shitload of doors through here. So now you have 4 entrances. Each entrance has 5 garage doors leading to the bunker, and then each one of your bunkers has 5 of them. So at minimum, if they want to come through the door path, they're looking at 25 rockets. Yeah, 5, 10, 15, 20, and then this extra door path here. So that's 25 doors, 25 garage doors, times 3 rockets each. That's a 75 rocket raid. If they want to go through, say they want to go through the ceiling, then they have to go through 8 to 16 up here on this top floor, and then they have to go through another 8. So that's what, 24. And then they get to the first loot room, and then they have to go through another door, which is 27, and then they got to go through the floor, which brings it up to 35. And then they got to go through another garage door, which brings it up to, what, 38, and then 2 more garage doors to get into the other ones. So that's 40, 41, and then 44. So that's 44 rockets for these 2 loot rooms if they went through the top. And then that's also 44 for another. So that's 88 rockets if they want to go through any of the walls. So it's 75 for the door paths, and then it's 88 rockets if they want to go through anything else. And again, we're only at, what, 8,500 metal frags. So you could still fit 2 full days worth of stuff in the TC, no problem, and then some. And again, later on, you're going to want to throw in this elevator shaft there. So 4 entrances. You walk in, you have all of your workbenches, lots of space for bags. You can grow stuff in here. If you want to be able to shoot out of here more, then you can replace these with windows. So you can shoot out of them, have like a little bit of a shooting floor. It's copied on both sides. And then to get around the base, you have your floor here. So again, I kind of run this as a hotel. So if you were one of the people staying at my hotel, this is kind of what your hotel room would look like. You would have a door here, obviously. And then you have 2 different ways you can go. So I want to entice people to go this way. So we have 1 door here, and then we have 2, because these 2 count as 1 because you can blow them up at the same time. So 2, and then we have 3 because they're going to want to try and come in here. And then we have 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you have your 15 rockets either way. But if you're a patron of my hotel, you're going to have a planter box in here. You're going to have a, what's it called? A fridge in here so you can store all of your food. There'll be a chair. You can grow your own vegetables, all your own food in here. You'll have a small bedroom area right here that's going to have a bunch of furnaces, a couple large boxes, a bed. You'll have access to your own Tier 1 workbench. If you want it to be Tier 2, you got to bring me a Tier 2 and I'll place it for you. And then you have your own little loot room. So it's a cool little thing. But again, you can make this into a loot room and just have big loot rooms, and that's mirrored here on the other side. All right, so it's all about creating door paths, making things equal. And again, you want these ones to be armored. and you want them facing in. So it's going to cost them either 16 rockets to go through that, or it's going to cost them 15 rockets to go through the door path. And you're going to do if you could do the same things here if you want, but you don't have to. But as a precaution, just for my hotel, I like to, so people know that their bunker is secure from the rest of the bases. And you do the same thing down here in the basement, right? But except this one holds your TC, and then this one has a large battery in it, or this one holds the TC, and that one has a large battery in it, that's connected to your turrets, so you don't have to worry about your turrets ever going offline. But yeah, so basically this is the Dragon's Den. This is the core. It's cheap enough that if you want to add a whole shooting floor on top, like if you're rich, you can add a whole shooting floor up here and make the elevator and your staircase 4 levels tall. Or if you're really rich and you're in a group and you don't mind having 24 hours or less upkeep in your base, then you can add the exact same 2 things that we added down there up here. And if you do that, then you're looking at 200 rockets to get through everything, all of the walls. And then you're also looking at, it's going to be, what, 10, 20, 30, 40, 40 rockets in order to get into all of the loot rooms. And then you also have the 5 on each side. So at minimum, it's going to be 45 rockets to get through everything. Multiply that by 3, you're looking at 150 rockets. And it's, again, you're going to be able to get a whole day's upkeep. And this is all it is. This is the whole footprint right here. This is all you need. The very best thing you can do to even make it even more stronger is you can add China walls onto this thing. You're always going to want to have external TCs. If you want to have external TCs on this thing, I would recommend building my ultimate gatehouses or ultimate external TC gatehouses. I have a video on that already, and how to place them. It's basically you go off the center core here when it's by itself, and then you go off 6 on each side, and then the last half of that square will be inside the build radius of this. So all of those TCs will cover the build radius of this, even if you don't build anything else onto them. And so you don't have to worry about anybody taking over your base once they do destroy the TC in here, because all the other ones will cover it. And you'll also be able to demolish the other ones because and get rid of those TCs quickly should you need to, because it's built into the gatehouse design. So yeah, that's basically it for this bad boy. Yeah, what else can I do? So let's go over it one more time, I guess, real quick. So you have your center path here. Again, I would have these as armored and on the inside, and that's all that you need is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 armored pieces, and you still have your upgraded. So 63 armored. It can be expensive, but it's worth it in the end, especially if this is a group base. You guys should be able to afford 63 high qual a day as a group. So again, you can have different things in here. You can have your growing things in here. Planter boxes will fit in here. Garages. Quick tip: a good idea to have up here actually is chairs. And if you live in the cold biome, it's a good idea to have a fireplace next to it. But you want to place a chair over here, because when you sit in a chair, if you look over in the bottom right hand corner here, I'm going to get 100% comfort. And that's just as long as I eat 2 or 3 pumpkins and I sit in this chair with my 100% comfort, especially since the pumpkins are growing right in front of me, I'm going to be able to refill my health and get back into fighting within like 30 seconds. By the time I get my kit on and everything else like that, I'll be back up into the fight. So there's lots of different things you can do to it. And I guess we should actually probably take a look at it from the outside. We'll hop down the side here. And again, it only takes up a 3-story footprint, so it's really not huge. All right, and to look at it, it doesn't look all that formidable, but holy moly, like this thing is a beast to break into. All right, and then again, if you throw on another 2 floors onto this thing, it looks pretty sick if I'm being honest. But yeah, so it's that's basically the main core design. I don't really do shooting floors too much. I'm not the best at designing them. So if you want a shooting floor, by all means, add on to it. You have lots of extra space, and you have lots of extra, space in your TC in order to that you can play around with it. You can add a bunch more stuff to it, and it won't be ridiculous on your upkeep costs. Again, you got 4 different entrances, you know, 8 main loot rooms, 8 bedrooms, and basically anything else that you can think of. So this is my design. I hope this helped some of you, a bunch of you. Um, Again, it's not ridiculous to build either. Actually, you know what? I think I can calculate that for you real quick because, again, it depends on how much you how much it costs to build percentage. And when you start getting into a base of this size, then we're looking at about it's going to cost you 30% upkeep. So whatever it costs you to build, 30% of that you're going to need for upkeep in a day. So let's find out. We can go to my calculator here. Let's figure this out real quick. So that's 8159. So that's 30% of the total build cost. So we're going to multiply that by 100 and then divide it by 30%. So you're looking at about 28,000 metal to make this whole thing. So you're looking at a box of stone or a box of metal frags. So it's going to cost you a box of metal frags to build this whole thing. Well, maybe a little bit more because you have to build all the doors and everything else. So, but I'm going to say a box and a half of metal frags in order to build this whole thing, and it's going to take them a box to a box and a half to actually blow through this whole thing. So I don't know what sounds more expensive to you guys, a box and a half of metal frags that you can cook up pretty easy at the beginning of a wipe, or a box and a half of rockets that takes forever to make. So yeah, this is the Dragon's Den. I hope you guys enjoyed. I'm just going to, for those of you who care, I'm just going to spend a couple of minutes here while I'm here, putting in a couple of door frames, putting in my doors and stuff like that, putting in a couple of boxes, because I am going to do my my tour video here soon. So if you guys want to keep watching, hey buddy. So if you guys want to keep watching, then by all means, please do. But yeah, I'm just going to be throwing in a bunch of doors. This is how I would have it, set up here at the end anyway. So I'll throw in my doors and make sure I put my locks on them because people still come around and grief me. Lots of doors. Space is basically trying to create as many door paths as possible while trying to have it all fit into the smallest space possible. Because there's not very many, there's not too many bases out there that'll give you this much protection for being so cheap. So I figured I'd finally show it to you guys. I didn't want to because, you know, it's one of my favorite base designs and I don't want everybody using it, but at the same time, you know, even if people do happen to recognize the base design and they know what's going on the inside, it's really not going to help them that much unless they got, again, they have a full box of rockets. So, you know, so I hope everybody uses it, right? And then everybody has to, then all these bigger groups have to actually spend some time farming. You know what I mean? Alright, so we got our outer doors on. Got all of our inner doors. Get rid of that. Again, however you want to do this upper floor is completely up to you. But the simplest way to do it would just be to block it in. Like that. And then you are going to want to get an elevator in here as soon as possible. Just to make your life a little simpler, you know what I mean? Okay, so we got all of the doors there. So now we need some more doors. I'm just trying to get the total build cost here. And also when I go to do a tour. Because you can see too that now that I'm adding doors, the raid cost, or the cost is going up. Alright, get in the rest of our doors. Put in a door frame. There we go. That opened. It's all done. Now we go down in the basement. Oh yeah, so here's where you can put your large battery if you want it. But this is your turret battery. Right. Actually, what you should probably do is you should probably do that, and then you can put a window in there. Let's block it up. Continue on with our doors. The only doors you really have to care about when you're doing these are these doors right here, because you want the roller part to be on the inside of these doors, not the outside, because it'll make jumping, going up and down that area in the middle there so much worse when you're having to constantly jump through all of that stuff. So let's finish putting on our doors. There we go. A couple more. Actually, I'll leave that one like that. Leave that one like that. Because again, this is just an example of how you can make this still into a loot room. So you can have double loot rooms. For those who need all that extra space. Build our stairwell again. And as you can see, it leads right up to the top. Or we're going to put another door. And I think we need, what, 2 more? Alright, so we're basically at 12,000 now. So we can fit 2 full days of upkeep we should be able to fit 2 full days of upkeep into this, basically 48 hours. And if your group isn't on for more than 48 hours and you guys get raided, well, you kind of deserved it. If I'm being honest, because if you leave your base for more than 2 days, you can expect to get raided. Yeah, that's just my, well, at least that's how I see it anyway. So, again, I'm just going to set up a quick example room here, just for anybody who wants it. Now, another thing you can do here as well is, again, because you want to entice them to go through as many doors and as many ways as possible, is when you're on this second floor here, in these loot rooms, what you could do is you could actually make it so this wall right here, again, this is only if you have BPs, make this wall right here into a door frame, and then you can also put a vending machine in it for extra storage. And then so if they do come through here, then they're going to want to go through the door path rather than through here to blow this up. But one of the things you can do is to prevent them from even wanting to come through here at all, is you can actually hurt this thing, because if you can see, it's got 1250 health, which is more than the door frame, so they can blow up the door frame and then still get access to it. So what you can do is you can actually damage this thing to the point where it's only got a couple of health. So if they do decide to blow this door up with rockets to get at the back of it, the splash damage enough alone will be enough to destroy this, leaving whatever's inside unavailable to grab. So if you were one of my patrons who are living in here, you could leave some of your good stuff in there, but then you can leave some of your best stuff in here. So if they do decide to come through this side here, um, then uh, then they don't get anything that's in here. You're splitting up your loot from your TC room and this, so even if they do come into this room, they still have to go through an extra wall door in order to get through this. So it's just adding further onto the raid costs, and then you can actually use this room as a proper bedroom. So you have a bedroom, a loot room, an extra locker, and you got this whole area out here to do whatever you want with, grow plants, that kind of stuff. And again, every time you put down one of these things, you want to administrate and push triangle or whatever button on your console to turn off broadcasting, so everybody doesn't know where you are. So yeah, let's do, so it's 12,000 metal frags in order to do everything. So let's do 12,000 times 100 divided by 30%. So it's going to cost you 40,000 metal frags to build this entire thing, all the doors, everything else like that. So divided by 24 slots in a box, or sorry, divided by 1,000 per resource. That's 40 divided by 24 slots in a box. So that's a box and a half. It's just over a box and a half of metal in order to build this entire thing, and you'll be set and good to go. And it's going to take them a box and a half in order to get through everything. If they do it the best possible way, and if they don't do it the best possible way, it's still going to take them about a box to get through everything. So um, for me, that's a really good trade-off, especially if you already have the garage doors BP'd. The hardest thing that you're going to need for this base is just it's going to be gears, so you can create all of these garage doors. Because in total, there's what, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So 14, 28. And then another, what, 20 on top. So there's almost 50 doors on this bad boy, right? So you're gonna need 100 gears. So you will have to build this thing in sometimes in stages, or if you're rich, you know, you can just get a bunch of gears, buy a bunch of gears, or you can craft them if you're rich. It doesn't matter, but yeah. So there's, man, it's nuts how many doors are actually in this place and how big it is. And again, if you want to put a second story on this thing, because we're already at the max, because we're already at the max, that it's going to charge you for the max percentage. It's going to charge you for upkeep because we're already there. It doesn't really matter how much you add on to it. It's going to stay at the same percentage. So you could theoretically just throw in another one directly on top, and it's going to be probably the hardest base that anybody's ever going to have to raid, and it's just one big tower, right? So, but yeah, this is my hotel. Hope you guys like it. Hope this helps in your base, for your base designs. I hope you guys build this. I hope it's useful for you. And I hope you guys don't get raided as easily. I mean, it is a big giant target, but again, it's going to take a lot to get through all of this. So even if it is a target, most people won't have the ability to get through here, especially some of those larger zergs and stuff. They're, you know, a whole box of rockets. That's plenty of time for counters and stuff like that to come by and help protect your base and for you guys to come to get out there and defend it. So yeah, this is the Dragon's Den, and I I will see you guys in the next live stream. I'll probably be doing another one here on honeycombing. It shouldn't take me too long. I mean, not honeycombing, sorry, making China walls. Um, you'll be able to customize them off of your base design right off of the beginning, and I'll show you guys how to do that because this thing definitely does benefit from having a set of China walls on the outside, especially since all of my entrances are here up on the third floor. It's a good idea to have the China wall and a small bridge that leads right to it. So, but yeah, that'll be in the next live stream. This one's already probably gone long enough, and yeah, thanks guys very much for watching. Appreciate it. I'll see you guys in the next one.